Dr. Seuss's Hooray for Diffendoofer Day, with some help from Jack Perlutsky and Lane Smith. If there ever was a very special teacher in your life, you'll want to meet Miss Bonkers. If you believe that learning how to think should be fun, you'll want to visit Diffendoofer School. If you love vintage Dr. Seuss, you'll want to read the special section on how this book came to be. If you want to make someone happy, you'll want to give them this book. And now, enjoy the special recording of Dr. Seuss's Hooray for Diffendoofer Day. I've always lived in Dinkerville. My friends all live here too. We go to Diffendoofer School. We're happy that we do. Our school is at the corner of Dinkzuber and Dinkzot. It looks like any other school, but we suspect it's not. I think we're learning lots of things not taught at other schools. Our teachers are remarkable. They make up their own rules. Miss Bobble teaches listening. Miss Wobble teaches smelling. Miss Fribble teaches laughing. And Miss Quibble teaches yelling. Miss Twinning teaches tying knots in neckerchiefs and noodles, and how to tell chrysanthemums from miniature poodles. Miss Vining teaches all the ways a pigeon may be peppered, and how to put a saddle on a lizard or a leopard. My teacher is Miss Bonkers. She's as bouncy as a flea. I'm not certain what she teaches, but I'm glad she teaches me. Look, look, she chirps. I'll show you how to tell a cactus from a cow, and then I shall instruct you why a hippo cannot hope to fly. She even teaches frogs to dance and pigs to put on underpants. One day, she taught a duck to sing. Miss Bonkers teaches everything. Of all the teachers in our school, I like Miss Bonkers best. Our teachers are all different, but she's differenter than the rest. We also have a principal. His name is Mr. Lowe. He is the very saddest man that any of us know. He mumbles, "Are they learning? This and that and such and such." His face is wrinkled as a prune from worrying so much. He breaks a lot of pencil points from pushing down too hard, and many dogs start barking as he mopes around the yard. We think he wears false eyebrows. In fact, we're sure it's so. We've heard he takes them off at night. I guess we'll never know. But we know he likes Miss Bonkers. He treats her like a queen. He's always there to watch her when she's on her trampoline. There are many other people who make Diffendoofer run. They are utterly amazing. I love every single one. Our nurse, Miss Claudie, knows what to do when we've got sniffles or the flu. One day I had a splinter, so she bandaged me from head to toe. Mr. Plunger, our custodian, has fashioned a machine, a super zooper flooper doo. It keeps the whole school clean. Our music teacher, Mrs. Fox, makes bagpipes out of straws and socks. Our art instructor, Mr. Bees, paints pictures hanging by his knees. In science class with Mr. Katz, we learn to build robotic rats. In gym, we watch as Mr. Bear hoists elephants into the air. Miss Loon, our librarian, she hides behind the shelves and often cries out louder when we're reading to ourselves. We have 3 cooks, all named McMunch, who merrily prepare our lunch. They make us hot dogs, beans, and fries, plus things we do not recognize. And as they cook, they sing their song, not too short and not too long. Roast and toast and slice and dice, cooking lunch is oh so nice. We were eating their concoctions, telling jokes and making noise when Mr. Lowe appeared and howled, "Attention, girls and boys!" He began to fuss and fidget, scratch and mutter, sneeze and cough. He shook his head so hard we thought his eyebrows would come off. He wrung his hands, he cleared his throat, and he shed a single tear. Then sobbed, "I've got something to announce, and that's why I'm here. All schools for miles and miles around must take a special test to see who's learning such and such, to see which school's the best. If our small school does not do well, then it will be torn down, and you will have to go to school in dreary Flobbertown." "Not Flobbertown!" we shouted, and we shuddered at the name, for everyone in Flobbertown does everything the same. It's miserable in Flobbertown. They dress in just one style. They sing one song and they never dance. They march in single file. They do not have a playground and they do not have a park. Their lunches have no taste at all. Their dogs are scared to bark. Miss Bonkers rose. "Don't fret," she said. You've learned the things you need to pass that test and many more. I'm certain you'll succeed. We've taught you that the earth is round, that red and white make pink, and something else that matters more, we've taught you how to think.
I hope you're right,
sighed Mr. Lowe, and he shed another tear.
The test is in 10 minutes and you're taking it right here.
We sat in shock and disbelief. Oh no, we moaned. Oh no! We were even more unhappy than unhappy Mr. Lowe. But then the test was handed out. Yahoo! We yelled. Yahoo! For it was filled with all the things that we all knew we knew. There were questions about noodles, about poodles, frogs, and yelling, about listening and laughing, and chrysanthemums, and smelling. There were questions about other things we'd never seen or heard, and yet somehow answered them, enjoying every word. 1 week later, after recess, Mr. Lowe meandered in. We'd never seen him smile before, but now he wore a grin. He soon began to giggle, and then his giggle grew by half. And then it really happened. Mr. Lowe began to laugh.
You've saved our school! You've saved our school!
He jubilantly roared.
We got the very highest score!
He wrote it on the board. Miss Bonkers did some cartwheels till her face turned cherry red. She bounded up to Mr. Lowe and kissed him on the head. Hooray! Hooray! She shouted. I'm so proud I cannot speak. So she did another cartwheel, and she pecked him on the cheek. Ahem, ahem, coughed Mr. Lowe.
You all deserve a bow. I thus declare a holiday. It starts exactly now. Because you've done so splendidly, in every sort of way, this day forever shall be known as Diffendoofer Day. And furthermore, I promise I won't ever wear a frown, for now I know we'll never go to dreary Flobber Town.
Then we held a celebration. There was pizza, milk, and cake. Like everyone, I ate too much and got a bellyache. We laughed and whooped and hollered the entire school day long. And then we all sang triumphantly the Diffendoofer song. We love you, Diffendoofer school, we definitely do. There surely is no other school that's anything like you. You're garrulous, you're globulous. Each day we love you more. You are the school we treasure and unceasingly adore. Oh, finest school in Dinkerville, the only one as well. We love you, Diffendoofer School, much more than we can tell. You are so Diffendooferous, it gives us joy to say. 3 cheers for Diffendoofer School. Hooray, hooray, hooray! How this book came to be. Dr. Seuss, or Ted, as everyone called him, his real name being Theodore Seuss Geisel, usually didn't talk about what he was working on. Often, we had no idea what the book was until he flew to New York to present us with a polished manuscript and the finished art. However, during a telephone chat in 1988 or 1989, when I asked him what he was doing, he did not sidestep the question with a humorous non-answer. "Oh, I'm trying to do a book about a school teacher," he said, "but I'm not sure if teachers will like it." I assured him that teachers probably would like it. "Well, I don't know," he continued. "This teacher is pretty different." That was the first and last I heard of the project. And within a year or so, he submitted to me, his editor at Random House, "Oh, the Places You'll Go," his last work. After Ted died in 1991, I asked his steadfast secretary, Claudia Prescott, to send me whatever he had done on the book about the teacher. "Oh, you mean Miss Bonkers," she instantly responded, for that was how Ted had referred to it. "He had the sketches up on his bulletin board for a long time," Claudia said, "and he used to say, 'Miss Bonkers is driving me bonkers.'" Ted had taken a fancy to Miss Bonkers, and Claudia hoped that I would too. When the package arrived, I ripped it open and read it in a rush. There were 14 pages of wonderful, colored pencil sketches, each with a scrawled couplet or two in Ted's characteristic hand printing. Some pages had as many as 4 different sketches. The package also included a few other sheets of paper with lists of possible names for the school and places in the school, such as the lunchroom and the gym, and where he planned to take the story. Though I loved what I saw, my heart sank. I had harbored the hope that Ted had actually completed a story, but he had not gotten that far. He had created some characters, a setting, and a few verses. Though it didn't add up to a book, there was definitely something there, and something so fresh, funny, and in a way I couldn't possibly explain, important about these sketches, that I wanted to find a way to publish it. But I was baffled as to how to do it. Doctoring Dr. Seuss was something I had never had to do during the 11 years I was his editor. So I did as Ted had done, put it aside and went on to something else. Every once in a while, I would pull out the file and look at the sketches again. Finally, it dawned on me that what he had been trying to do was write a story in celebration of individuality and creative thinking. Light bulbs began flashing. Why not ask children's poet Jack Prelutsky and children's book illustrator Lane Smith to finish what Ted had started? If anyone could do it, this tremendously talented and free-spirited pair could. They both resemble third-grade classroom cut-ups, the kind of wise guys in the back of the room whom Ted admired, but was always too shy to join. At least not in public. They're funny and they're original. I knew I could count on them not to simply imitate Dr. Seuss, though they are big fans of his, so yes, why not ask them? Finding a plot was the first critical step. Once Jack hit upon a kind of modern-day achievement test that the students at Diffendoofer school had to pass, or be sent to dreary Flobbertown, I knew the nut had been cracked. In addition to creating from scratch the majority of the verses. Though a number of Ted's verses were used verbatim, there were many decisions of varying magnitude for Jack to make. For example, which custodian of the two conceptualized by Dr. Seuss should stay in the book? Indeed, what school name from the more than 20 jotted down by Dr. Seuss should be the one chosen? Jack picked Diffendoofer because it suggests the word different. He added ending because the extra beat fit better into his own rhyme scheme. Lane used the body of Dr. Seuss's illustration, his striped and whirling fantasy lands, his zigs and zags and bursts of color, plus his original sketches as inspiration. Combining collage with oil painting, Lane had fun working into the story a few cameo appearances by famous Dr. Seuss characters, images, and books. With Hooray for Diffendoofer Day, Jack and Lane do indeed pay homage to Dr. Seuss, but in their own distinctive way. The result is the union of three one-of-a-kind voices in a book that is greater than the sum of its parts. I have a hunch that Ted's unfinished story about the unsinkable Miss Bonkers and the very different school she was a part of led him to the places you'll go. When he got stuck trying to praise those who teach us how to think, he simply leapfrogged into how we'll be called upon to use those brains in our head and feet in our shoes after graduation day. Out in the School of Life, which is the setting for the Places You'll Go, I think Miss Bonkers' class and all the graduates of Diffendoofer School would indeed succeed, 98.75% guaranteed. So thank you, Jack and Lane, for making it possible for Miss Bonkers to have her day in class. Janet Schulman, New York, April 1998. This book was created in memory of Dr. Seuss, as remembered by Jack Prelutsky and Lane Smith. We hope you enjoyed this very special book by Dr. Seuss, with a little help from Jack Prelutsky and Lane Smith. And we remember Dr. Seuss, the most beloved children's book author of the 20th century, who had a mind that never grew up. We love you, Dr. Seuss. Thank you for making reading so fun!